Hail Comicsgate, this is John Xavier Delord coming at you, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a synopsis of the upcoming Comicsgate graphic novel, A Scroll of Light and Darkness. I plan on making it a series, but of course, since this is my very first Comicsgate campaign, and I'm building up my YouTube channel from the ground up, these are just plans as of right now. But as I said in my last little video that I did a few months ago, this is based on an unpublished 222-page dark fantasy novel that I had written called *A Scroll of Light and Darkness*. The first book is going to be called *The Lightscroll*. The second book is going to be called *The Dark Scroll*. And of course, the novel that I wrote actually has both stories in it. But it being 222 pages, and when I was just going through the process of editing it into a comic book script format and realizing this was going to be my first Comicsgate campaign, and the standard is usually about 48 to 50 pages, I think I'm going to go with the traditional model and not bite off more that I can chew right out of the gate. I just want to make sure that I can do this, and I can fulfill a campaign, and gain an audience from among our community here. But I've always been fascinated with cults, and over the years I've read certain things like there's a YouTuber named Jay Dyer who wrote a couple books called Esoteric Hollywood, and he talks about how cults and intelligence communities and the mob and Hollywood and all of these little worlds have a seedy little underbelly that sort of interlocks. And so, one of the things that was fascinating that I found out about cults was that often cult leaders and also several key figures in any given cult will be attaches for various intelligence agencies, and in some cases, an entire cult could be a front operation for an intelligence agency. But this has to do with a cult that lives on a compound in rural Missouri, and they're like this neo-Gnostic cult, and they're headed by a cult leader named Vav Barziwa, and he what I was just talking about, how cult members can be attaches for intelligence agencies. He is an attache for a supernatural intelligence agency called the Amygdala Abbey, and his handler is basically this sort of mafioso assassin, Knight Templar kind of guy named Matthew Rose. And there is the Light Scroll, which is going to be the first book that I'm going to publish. It's sort of like an onion. It has a story within a story, and so the story within the story is the Gnostic scripture of this cult, and it's sort of a pastiche of various mythologies. I'm a bit of a mythology geek, and I'm sure I'm not the only one in the Comicsgate community who's a mythology geek, but it's sort of a pastiche of the various riffs I've taken on various mythologies that I've studied since I was a child. But anyway, look for the upcoming Indiegogo campaign, a Scroll of Light and Darkness Part One, the Light Scroll. I do have an artist and a colorist lined up. I spoke with this gentleman, and he's just awesome, and I'm really enthused about these guys' work, and look forward in the future. Thank you very much.